welcome. I didn't even check to see if my mic is working, but it is. Okay, welcome. I am Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. If you are watching this and not listening, I do have on the top. Just want you to know that. But we are talking about September 2026 predictions and astrology. September is not going to come quietly. We start off the month of September with a bang. Mars is squaring Saturn. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. I will explain it. A lot of delays and frustrations and restrictions, and it's like, should I keep it pushing? But that is only beginning. Venus will enter Scorpio. It will eventually square Pluto. If you know anything about that, I'll just say jealousy, control, relationship, power dynamics. Mercury will enter Libra. The sun will enter Libra. Happy solar return to all my Libras. And that's going to have a lot of interesting aspects with the other planets in the sky. We have an Aries full moon, and it's conjunct Neptune. That is deception, and emotions are extra high. So, yeah, the conversation is about to get really real. September is going to be asking what happens when the truth you discover forces you to make decisions you no longer can avoid. If you want to know all the tea, you want the breakdown of everything, then you're at the right place.
Oh, Danyell, Carmelita, oh, can't you see the stars align? Just come to me. Tarot and cosmos, your fate's inside. Danyell, Carmelita, shining bright.
Okay, we are going to jump right into it. I'm showing you the September 2026 calendar. I will put this on my Substack. You don't have to screenshot this. You'll get this for free. Also on my Substack, okay, which is completely free to everyone. Come on, come one, come all. I will put in dates that are great for socializing, throwing a party, whatever ideas, doing things for work, having that conversation with a loved one. I'm going to put all those special dates that's best for that, even more connected with this. So that is completely free, and it helps me stay in touch with you as well. I don't believe in cancel culture, but I do know you can get lost in the sauce. Okay, so if I get lost in the sauce, it helps me stay in contact with you. Also, you get weekly updates on astrology. So I put down, you get your newsletter for the week of the astrological weather for the vibe in the sky. But we are here for September. And welcome if you are listening to this via podcast. You can also listen to me wherever you enjoy your podcast. Now, September 1st, Mars is going to square Saturn. Mercury is going to sextile Mars September 1st as well. On the 9th, Venus is going to trine the North Node. On the 10th, Venus enters Scorpio. Also on the 10th, which September 10th is a big day, just so you know. Mercury enters Libra, and then we have a new moon in Virgo. Also, Uranus starts to retrograde on the 10th. So a big date to remember. On the 12th, Mercury will trine Pluto. Mercury will also oppose Neptune on the 12th. Mercury will trine Uranus on the 13th. On the 14th, the sun will sextile Mars. On the 15th, Venus will square Pluto. Also on the 15th, Neptune, which is retrograding, will sextile Pluto. That's the energy in the sky. That's a huge planet. Okay, I'm jumping the gun, but we'll continue reading the astrological weather for September. I was about to say some other stuff, but okay. I'm not, okay, whatever. You guys, I need my matcha, okay? It is 2:30. I usually do this in the morning, but here we are. Okay, so September 21st, Mercury is going to sextile Jupiter. Oh, I skipped September 17th. Chiron is going to re-enter Aries. On the 18th, Mercury will oppose Saturn, and then on the 21st, Mercury will sextile Jupiter. Happy solar return, because on September 22nd, happy solar return to all of my Libras. Amazing. What are you guys planning to do for your birthday? Well, it's going to be very interesting because immediately on the 25th, that sun in Libra is going to oppose Neptune retrograding. So once the sun enters Libra, we're going to have some interesting emotions in the sky. Also on the 25th, the sun will be trining Pluto. On the 22nd, that's when we have our full moon in Aries. On the 27th, Mars will enter Leo. And on the 28th, the Sun will trine Uranus. On the 29th, Mercury will trine the North Node. And that will be at 29 degrees. That's a big doozy. And the last day of September, we have Mercury entering Scorpio. Ooh, spicy. Okay. We are going to start it off with this week. And I want you to know this one is a monthly video. I am going to break this video down weekly and refurbish it, make it nice and juicy for you. There will be some big things that I will discuss outside of this video. For example, the full moon. I'm also going to talk about Mercury retrograding coming up. So there's some big doozies that I talk about outside of this, but this is a whole video and I break this video down weekly. So you may hear me repeating some things, like some call to action things like subscribe, don't forget to do it. But that's because I break this video down weekly because some people have short attention spans. And you may forget that I said this at the beginning of the month and then I just refurbish it for the week. Okay. So, anyway, so speaking of the week, let's talk about the first week of September. Okay. Major theme of this week is going to be Saturn. That's the father figure, that's the CEO, institutions, long term consequences, karma, times, delays, and structure. This week we got Jupiter is going to trine Saturn. Then and that's a big doozy. That's not just one day and not just one week, but we'll get into that. Mars also squares Saturn. Mercury is going to quincunx Saturn. So Saturn, the father figure, the restrictions, the delays, Mr. Doomsday is going to be a big theme for the first week of September. But we also have Venus in a pre-shadow phase beginning this first week. Really August 31st. That's when we get the Venus pre-shadow phase. I'm going to pull up the chart here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Where is my chart here? Where is it? Where did I share the chart? Where is it, you guys? I don't know. Is this it? No, that's not it. This it? Why is it not showing? Did I delete? I must delete it. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Let me actually put it here. Share screen. Okay, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing with the technology. Oh, here we go. Add to scene. There we go. Once I apply the mind, sometimes, I don't know if this is you guys, but sometimes when you're older and then all of a sudden someone is like, can you do this on a cell phone? And all of a sudden I can't do it. I don't know if is that just me? All of a sudden I'm lost in a sauce. Anyway, this window was already supposed to be done, but here we are. We are here. Okay. I actually, let me stop. No, I can't help myself. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I feel a little bit better. Okay. All right. So now, sorry, you guys, I had to rearrange some things so you guys can see the natal chart. If you're listening to this, we are going to start with really the beginning of the week, which is going to be Monday. This is a reminder for some people who already heard the tea on this. But Jupiter is in Leo and it is having this amazing trine with Saturn. This is huge because this trine really is really great for all my fire signs. And if you're not a fire sign, this is really good for passion, being enthusiastic, having a drive, having that physical energy. It's very external. It's for the world to see. It's not internal energy. But this is really good for all my Leos. This is really good for not all, but all the Leos, some of the Leos placements in the middle, and the Aries placements in the middle, and the Sagittarius placements in the middle. This is really great for you guys. You guys are like, oh my gosh, I'm really feeling this. Why do I have this abundance and luck? Okay. Jupiter and Saturn trine isn't just an annual event, but Jupiter takes about 12 years to orbit the whole zodiac, and Saturn is about 29.5 years to do all of the signs. And you get this around 6-7 years away. We're 6-7 years away from a conjunction. meaning that these planets will eventually start to touch, and then they will eventually start to oppose each other. So let's take advantage on this positive energy. Both of these planets are retrograding. Are they retrograding? No, one will be, oh, when they will retrograde, then we might get this trine again. Not might. When Jupiter starts to retrograde, we'll get it a little bit coming again, which we have Saturn already retrograde. Okay. So this happens more than once. And we're going to feel this now. Then you're going to feel it again when they start retrograding. Okay. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, Saturn is the planet of structure. It isn't going to be something that's fast. It's almost like expansion meets father of time. Expansion meets structure. Expansion meets the father figure, your consequences. What is your karma? What is that juju? Jupiter in Leo represents confidence, leadership, creativity, even the President Trump, right? Whoever is the leader, Netanyahu. Okay. It's about recognition. It's about the children. It's about self expression. I will also say about influencers, especially the young influencers, entertainment, comedians, children, athletes, taking risks, being seen, the pride, generosity, larger than life personalities. Everyone look at me, attention seeking, right? Saturn in Aries, which is retrograding, is about revisiting your independence, reworking your personal goals, leadership with lessons, because this is leadership and this is leadership. So double whammy on the leadership. There's also delayed actions or learning about patience or responsibility for your own choices, correcting something you started previously, redefining what courage actually means. Aries is all about the individual, it's about the first, it's about the hero. And Aries is also very just the number one, so the individual, right? Saturn is going to make those themes very serious. So you're very serious about being an entrepreneur, you're very serious about being first, you're being very pessimism could be one way of thinking of it, but if you look at the water, the cup half full, then you're thinking about realism and having a reality and being more realistic about your long-term goals. Right now, it's trining, meaning that this is going to just land on your lap. We don't have to do nothing. You individually, us collectively, the opportunity, the responsibility, the vision, the strategy, the growth that comes with being sustainable, something that's previously delayed may become more workable, right? Saturn also really likes to be very serious, darling, right? It's very serious, very cold planet. So the things that are very cold and very serious and it seems a little dry and boring, there's happiness now with that. Okay, so an older plan gets another opportunity, a creative project becomes more serious. I'll tell you, for me personally, I've always wanted to take my stuff off of my website and put it on Substack. I'm taking my time, I'm reading the fine print, and I want it to be free for all, and it's something new for me. Okay, well, here you are. You have that Jupiter trining Saturn. This is the time to really work those details, okay? Business expansion with more realistic strategy, recognition after sustained work, a risk becomes more calculated, returning to an abandoned goal with a better plan. That is the example that I was saying just a minute ago. Mentorship, because that Saturn likes to mentor and guide. And you're getting that from someone who's really experienced, okay? Now, Saturn also represents the government. Any people dealing with the people in uniform, and they may have some plans happening here. There may be some development, or maybe there's some intention there, but there's some pride with it. Entertainment, sports, children, creative industries could be expanding as well. Okay, this is very positive. This is actually a big deal in the astrology world, and we are living through it right now. So I'm excited about that. And Jupiter does move around all the astrology signs about 12 months. So we will get this again, but it won't be in Leo. Okay, it won't trine in the fire signs, is what I'm saying. It will be like a quincunx or an opposition or a square. So take advantage of this positive energy, especially anything that you're like, oh, it just seems like there's a restriction or it's too serious or there's a delay. Take pride in this, especially with that Leo energy. Now, something else we have at the beginning of this week is that August 31st, Venus is in the pre shadow phase of retrograding. I did a very detailed video on this, you guys. So I want you to understand all the pretty people, they're going to look ugly. Okay. All the female socializing, if you're going on a female trip, woo woo, if you're going to be at a bachelorette party with a bunch of girls, just don't say I didn't warn you. Or maybe this could be because when a planet retrogrades, that means you're redoing something, you're revisiting something. A prime example for me personally is that I was going to do a podcast with my sister in law, and it's called Run It Back. Literally a Venus retrograding, okay? Venus retrograde starts to develop. So we're going to revisit, reconsider, renegotiate, or understand differently. Now, whenever a planet is retrograding, and notice it's not red yet, it's in a pre shadow phase. So it will start to be red. But when it starts to have that feeling, we'll get the little droplets of it. It's either something you're redoing, repeating, right? Or Venus doesn't work for you at all. So that natural support that you get, the natural things of having a spa date, because that's very Venus, or hanging out with the female friendships or that partnership, that mirror energy, like what I do is what you give back, the disharmony, the fair and the justice may not be working. Venus rules love, dating, relationships, attraction, friendships, money, spending, values, self worth, beauty, fashion, art, pleasure, and agreements. That may change while Venus is retrograding, okay? You may be paying attention to who enters your life, who leaves your life, relationship conversations, friendships could change, dating situations could be a little funky, a little different. Maybe even better, maybe you're redating someone who you used to date. An ex could resurface. Financial decisions could be a little bit different. Large purchases, spending too much money. Okay, that could be a huge thing. Beauty treatments. Maybe people who are frugal could be spending more. That could be a possibility. I don't see that, but I just want to throw that out there. Changing your personal style, creative projects, questioning about your worth, questions about your worth, and what are you willing or unwilling to compromise on. Okay, so there could be something like a new attraction and it becomes a little bit complicated a little bit later. Okay, again, or relationships, it could be resurfacing. Someone's questioning whether they're getting enough from the relationship. Finances, decisions about finances, whatever you was considering earlier could be reconsidering. People rethinking of beauty. Do I want to cut my hair? Do I want to change my fashion? Do I want to change my branding? Anything dealing with aesthetics and appearance. A redoing, a rejudging, or it's not working at all. Okay. Friendship dynamics could be changing. An unresolved person from the past coming. Negotiations around money, negotiations around fairness. Venus also is about court system and justice. So you have that. Some realizations, their standards, someone realizing their standards have changed. Okay. Now, on a global scale, Venus represents our allies, and the allies ain't allowing. Allowing. If that was a verb, you get what I'm saying here. Okay. Let me see. Okay, that's spam. Looking at a comment here. Okay, so now we're here for September, right? I just want to give you what's happening at the end of August. Now Venus is retrograding. It's going to start retrograding. And also that Saturn has a very positive aspect with Jupiter. So there's abundance with the negativity and the boundaries and the borders of everything, right? Now September 1st, Mars is going to square Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is all great here, but Saturn is lacking some drive here. I want to act, but something is stopping me. Even though there's abundance here, even though there's expansion here, but my action is at a halt. Okay, Mars in Cancer is action that becomes emotional. It's about your family, your home, your protection, security, defensiveness, the past. Anger is motivated by hurt and sensitivity. Protections from people who you care about. Now, when Mars is in Cancer, it kind of doesn't like being in Cancer because Mars is very direct. It likes to move forward. Cancer is the crab that moves to the side. So that's already kind of like, I would say effed up, right? It's like, why are you going sideways? Why aren't you not being direct? Now, Saturn is there, and Saturn is really restricting the independence. There's consequences, there's old responsibilities returning. It is creating a friction. So there's frustration, you feel blocked, you could be irritated, you could be lack of energy, tired, very defensive, very impatient, angry about delays, feeling someone is preventing your progress, especially when it comes around your mom, your home, your physical home, or where you feel safe. Family obligations interfering with personal plans, because this is all about the self. This is all about the family in a home, wanting independence while still caring about responsibility. Or you could feel like someone in the family is being selfish. That could be a possibility as well, but your plans could be delayed. A lot of arguments over responsibility, conflicts within families, home repairs could be some problems. They said they were going to fix it, they're not going to fix it. Someone just telling you no, just a no. Okay, that could be possible. Or beating around the bush with the no, like, why are you being indirect, right? Oh, conflicts could resurface, people becoming more angry because the progress isn't happening fast enough. Okay, now on a global scale, you're talking about Mars is all about the military, is about the police, any type of conflict, any type of emergency response, aggression. And then Saturn is about the government. It's, the government and the military, or authority and the military, or restrictions with the police, or there's borders and anger at the borders. Or Saturn also represents law, and then there is a conflict with law, or institutions having some aggression of some sort. Okay, so government restrictions producing anger, military limitations are very strategic delays, conflict involving leadership, infrastructure problems, housing, security issues, public frustration with authority. So just be ready for that. Don't say I didn't worry you. That is September 1st. We could be feeling it actually as I'm doing this. Okay. But don't force what's clearly blocked. Anger needs a direction. Slow down before it gets really confrontational, and fix the structural problem first. Okay. Saturn likes to be patient, and Saturn likes to teach lessons. So maybe there's a lesson that needs to be learned here. Also, too, something that's not as big, but I want you to understand that on September 1st, that same day, Mercury is in Virgo, sitting next to the sun. Okay, by the way, but it's sextile that Mars, and this is opportunity to say what you need to say. It's out here. Okay, the drive to think it and say it, that can actually work. So if you want to have some clear communication, or have the motivation to write it down, or have the motivation to send an email, that will actually work. At the same time, Mercury is going to, where is it? Mercury is quincunx Saturn. So it's like you have to do some extra paperwork, or they didn't receive the email, or maybe there's some scheduling conflicts, or you got to redo something quite uncomfortable. It could be an uncomfortable conversation. Let's just put it like that, about your drive. But at least the energy of motivating to talk about it is out there. I just want you to know that. But there could be something quite uncomfortable with the military, with the restrictions, with the delays. Okay. And it's very like annoying. Okay. Mercury also represents media, information, transportation, documentation, early education, and commerce. So there is something that, but just know there's some problem solving or some mental courage there too. Okay. Now, at the end of the week, from September to the 6th, we don't have a lot going on other than what I'm explaining to you, the vibe in the sky. Okay. So, September 1st, there's a lot of consequences with conversations. Your plans could be revised, or you have to redo your plans. You're waiting for approval this whole week. You're fixing mistakes. You're rescheduling a lot of family responsibilities, a lot of work responsibilities, cooling down after some arguments or disagreements, finding practical um, what is it? Options, okay, and decisions becoming more clear. Also, just know that Venus starts to pre-shadow retrograde, and that means a lot of things are starting to bubble up when it comes to relationships or finances. I'm filming this live, but if you catch this the week of, I would really highly suggest for you not to spend any money. Okay, why don't you spend this time budgeting your finances? Okay, so the main theme of this week is to I like to show my face with this. The main theme of this week is to be careful of all the delays, okay? And Leadership is going to be testing you. The Saturn things that I've discussed, a lot of conflict with authority and police officers. Just, let go and let God. Okay. Don't mistake a delay for denial. Check the facts, fix the problem, be realistic, not pessimistic. Okay. And I'm going to pull a card for the first week of August, and then we'll get on to August of September. First week of September. And I see a card. It's actually we have the Five of Wands here. The Five of Wands means conflict. It also means competition, but just be aware of some disagreements and tension happening for this week. And this also represents sports, so healthy competition too, but a lot of clashing of the egos. And then also, um, God's giving opportunity for some new ideas with that Mercury, right? So great time to expand the thought, great time to have those new conversations, great time for mental clarity, new ideas, vision, focus. Focus is a great one, focus. But that Saturn quincunx could lack the focus, but it's a great time for truth. For truth and honesty, okay? So that is what we have for the first week of I keep wanting to say August. For the first week of September. Let's move on to the second week, shall we? Okay. Now I'm going to get a sip of water before I pull the chart back up. Hold up. Where's my water? Okay. How is your summer, you guys? Is it doing good? I hope it is, because when these planets start retrograding, Mercury and Venus, you are going to be so annoyed. Fall is a different beast. Okay. Now let's talk about September 7th through the 13th. Overall, this week is a little bit different from last week. Okay. The setup is different. Okay. It's mainly focused on Mercury. Mercury is all about commerce, it's all about our day-to-day schedule, anything dealing with communication. You're talking about your emails, talking on the phone. Things start to be quite different with Mercury. Okay. We have some heavy focus on Venus too, which we had that going on of August, but it continues. Venus is going to change signs. Mercury is going to change signs. We also have a Virgo new moon with this week, the second week, and Mercury is the ruler of this new moon. Also, Uranus is in the sign Gemini, and that's going to retrograde. And who is the ruler of Uranus? Mercury. So Mercury is got some strong dealings this week. So just know that the second week of September, the key word I will use is communication. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the beginning of the week between September and the 8th, just know it's the same aspects as the first week, okay? These days can function as a bridge from the first week to the second week, but just know the background energy. We got Venus is closing up in Libra, so there's a lot of rushing to finish up something that deals with aesthetics and beauty and partnerships. Also, Uranus is starting to slow down. Where's my Uranus in Gemini? That's starting to slow down because it's going to start reverse reverse. Okay. And that's going to be a lot of things that are very intellectual or communication, even social media and the AI, the Waymos of the world. That starts to slow up a little bit. And Uranus is going to be really important because that's concentrating emphasis on a lot of planets that starts in beginning degrees. I'll talk about that. But just get ready for the beginning of that second week, a little bit slow, and then it starts to rush. Okay. Now, but the same energy from last week, a lot of closing up from last week. Now, Venus on the 9th of September is going to trine Venus in at 29 degrees. Is going to have this beautiful aspect with the North Node. It's going to sextile the South Node, meaning that there's going to be a great time to release something and gain something new. Okay. So relationships, friendships, financial opportunities, agreements, social connections. There's something that you beginning new. And 29 degrees means a closing out, but the North Node means there's something added. So it's like something's closing for something to beginning. It's almost like a reset. Venus and Libra, first of all, Venus rules Libra, meaning that it's very strong here. The strongness of relationships, dating, marriage, friendships, being diplomatic, any type of agreement, negotiation, fairness, beauty, fashion, art, social connections, money, values, any relationship you got. Okay. Now, the North Node is something for the future. Especially in Aquarius, is really about the future, right? It's all about technology and AI and the internet and social networks, even groups or community, innovation, unconventional choices, you having your freedom from a relationship. Are you being free within a relationship? Or maybe new social structures, or maybe there's a collective movement, because Aquarius is all about fighting for the people. Now, this thing gives you a new opportunity, a new community, new audience, new collaboration, new technology. You're learning something new with AI and it actually works for you, okay? New social circle. What are your thoughts on AI? Let me know. What are your thoughts? I have people who like use AI every day. I have people who totally change Google into AI, even though I know Gemini is a part of AI. Anyway, I'm just wondering what your thoughts are. You have your conspiracy theorists, which I am a conspiracy theorist, who are like anti AI, but I actually like AI. I like a lot of technology stuff, so that's just how I am. But I am very suspicious of it. Anyway, at the same time, very Gemini energy, because I have Gemini energy in me. Very flip flop. Okay. Anyway, but this is at 29 degrees, and at 29 degrees, this chapter has gone as far as it can go. Hurry the f up. Okay. So everything that I mentioned, there is this rush, there is this need to close out, like someone finally made a decision, or the friendship dynamics has finally changed, or hurry up and end this. Okay, so just know that there's something new for us relationships and friendships that could be gaining and closing at the same time. Very positive. This is not a negative thing. This is very positive. Now, as it hurries up and closes off, then literally on September 10th, and remember, I said, if you didn't know, September 10th is a big day. It's a big, big doozy. Matter of fact, you guys, I forgot to say, don't forget to join my Substack. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Okay. I am going to put this up every week and break it down. I'm also going to put some extra tea in there just because you're part of my Substack. I give a newsletter out every week, so you don't have to just watch the video or listen to the episode. You can actually have it written so you can quickly go to the exact date and know what's happening for that date. Okay. Anyway, and it's completely free. Now, on September 10th, and September 10th is a big, 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 big day, okay? Because we have Venus entering Scorpio. That's just one of the things, but just know that I said it's a big day. Venus enters Scorpio, it is at 0 degrees, okay? Once it enters Scorpio, then it's opposing Chiron, which is in Taurus. Also, Venus does not like to be in Scorpio. It's called detriment, okay? Because it really rules Taurus. So, meaning that Venus is like, I don't like this house. I don't like this house. This house is dirty, or this house makes me feel uncomfortable. It doesn't play by my rules. Venus is about harmony and pleasure and attraction and connection and beauty and cooperation. Very much easy energy. And Scorpio is very intense and all about the deepness. It's like we're not doing surface level stuff. We got secrets here. We got control issues and some trust issues. We like the extremes of emotions. So Venus doesn't like to be in Scorpio. However, I want you to know that my water signs love Venus and Scorpio. So if you have any water placements, far as Pisces or Cancers, you're happy here. Okay. Now, if you have any fixed signs, far as Leos, Aquarius, and Taurus, you don't like Venus and Scorpio. Okay. Get ready for the friendship problems to occur. And like I said earlier, Venus, I have a Venus retrograde video up so you can know exactly how this story will be told for you. So go ahead and check that out. Anyway, but Venus in Scorpio is all about intimacy, trust, loyalty, sex, secrets, jealousy, possessiveness. It's about your shared money with a partner, emotional vulnerability, a lot of power issues with partnerships and betrayal and deep attraction. Just know when Venus is in Scorpio, the casual relationship becomes more serious. You can meet someone and you guys are getting therapy together. Someone wants exclusivity, if I'm saying that right. Questions about loyalty. Secrets within a relationship could come out. Oh, jealousy comes back up. Someone becomes more emotionally invested. Maybe there's some strong sexual desires happening or attraction. And a lot of power dynamics, even people investigating partners. Okay. It doesn't have to be a relationship or a marriage. It could be a business partner. Okay. Or like someone you have to work with, like you and a therapist, or you're a plumber. Okay. Investigation here. Okay. So like, how much do you like me? Let me do some. It's very Scorpio energy to find that taboo thing that you shouldn't do. Also, Venus is in charge of our money. So you're dealing with debt, loans, taxes, insurance, investments, your partner's money, any joint accounts, inheritances, financial agreements, all that becomes a big thing. Now, Venus, once it enters Scorpio, it's going to be opposing Chiron. And this is a huge thing with healing and victimization. Okay. So Chiron is all about the self worth and finances and your body and what belongs to me, what belongs to us, my money, my security, my values, my body, my worth. And then Scorpio's like our money, our intimacy, our secrets, our trust. It's like a R versus the me. Or the R versus what the self values. So just know there's a lot of like seesaw with jealousy or finances or healing. And, Chiron is the victim. So someone in relationship could be playing a victim. 0 degrees is very strong. Okay. So on the 10th, all these finances and money and self-worth and relationship energy, don't say I didn't warn you. It's going to be very strong. Now, also what happens on the 10th is that Mercury enters Libra. Mercury entered Libra at 0 degrees too. So now we got not just one planet at 0 degrees. Now we have Mercury at 0 degrees and it's in Libra. So the conversations are going to be had. Okay. Now, the conversations could be a little confusing because it's opposing Neptune, but I'm not saying it's going to be had. Something with relationships is going to be lost in the sauce when it comes to the discussion. Okay, just get ready for that. Now, Mercury in Libra works really well with my air sign. So it works really good with my early signs of Aquarius. Well, all the Aquarius is and Geminis. It works really good for you. Does not work good with my cardinal signs, and that's my Capricorns, my Cancers, and my Aries. Okay, while Mercury's in Libra, just know there's some tension or opposition for you happening, okay? But Libras, you yourself will be feeling this the strongest, okay? Mercury and Libra themes are negotiations, again, court themes, anything dealing with contracts, mediation, a lot of relationships, a lot of fairness, hearing both sides, and social communication. Libra energy does not like to deal with things head on. It's very passive aggressive. So there's a lot of silent treatment and slamming doors instead of just saying, I'm mad. Okay. Very indecisive as well. It's very much into people pleasing. It is afraid of confrontation, too concerned about being fair and not really about being right. Constantly seeing the other side. So get ready for that. A lot of important conversations in relationships and legal negotiations. Whew, it's going to be a little exhausting. But I do want you to know when Mercury enters Libra, and you'll hear this on as we keep continuing on in September. But when Mercury enters Libra, immediately it's really great with Pluto. And Pluto is doing this amazing thing with technology or secrets with communication. And the mind and communication is working hand in hand. The intellect, the intensity of intellect and communication with the partnership works hand in hand. This also works with Uranus, okay? Mercury, while it's in Libra. It's an air trine. So that means anything social and communicative, it's working. There's a blessing out there, okay? Now, the problem is though, now that the problem is that Neptune is also in early degrees, and Neptune is this opposition. It's making a thing called a kite in the sky. And when there's a kite, meaning that there's an air trine, great. These Pluto and Uranus is amazing, but this opposition to Neptune is the focus. And the opposition to Neptune, there's either going to be a focus on what is hiding, because Neptune likes to hide. I find when Neptune is retrograding, it's no longer hiding. So something that was a secret is no longer being a secret. And that's going to be a big doozy when it comes to communication, just so you know that, right? Also, too, it's quincunx, Chiron. So there is this uncomfortable energy when it comes to the wounded healer. There's this uncomfortable energy about your worth and security and money and stability and values. There is uncomfortable energy when discussing that. So it's almost like, we'll just give an example. You're discussing finances, okay? Someone has decided to invest in AI. You discovered, not AI, was it crypto? You discovered it. You found it on a wide world web through a friend who was very smart. They told you something. You easily found it. You went home to confront the individual who you're in a relationship with, okay? The partnership, okay? Or maybe you did it and that partner is coming to address you. And there's a lot of secrets, but the secrets aren't secret no more. So that could be a thing, okay? An awkward conversation, negotiation, issues, difficulty discussing money, having to renegotiate an agreement. A contract requires an adjustment. Okay, so that is what we have. Let me see. Yeah, now also that is September 10th. All that September 2nd, and we still not finished. We also have a new moon in Virgo. It's going to be at 18 degrees. 18 degrees, okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I always have to count. Is a Virgo degree. Virgo degree means cleansing, mercurial. Cleansing energy. It's already in Virgo. So we're just going to ignore the degrees. Just know it's extra potent, okay? There is going to be something Virgo energy. I want you to understand that we have a lot of We have Mercury in 0 degrees during this new moon. We have Venus in 0 degrees during this new moon. And we have Chiron. Where's my Chiron? You saw it. Okay. Chiron retrograding at 0 degrees. So there's a lot of new stories happening, and a new moon is something new. Something needs to change. Venus enters Scorpio, Mercury enters Libra. Something needs to change. Okay. So big theme around new, a new relationship, a new conversation, a new dilemma. Could be positive, but new. Okay. Now, things that goes with Virgo during this new moon. And every time there's a new moon, you want to manifest. Okay. That's what you usually want to do. But just know that this is still a major new chapter in whatever you're going to manifest. But the themes of manifesting for this new moon is that you want to manifest in something that deals with work, routines, health, habits, organizations, schedule, employment, service to others, fixing what's insufficient. Okay. Let me see. Health habits, productivity, scheduling. Did I say that? Details works really good. Any type of skills, any type of maintenance, any type of cleansing. Cleansing means diminishing. So things you want to disappear. Mental health is with Virgo energy, editing and systems. Okay. So, like manifesting a new job, manifesting being organized, a new schedule, a new routine, a new health habit, a new workout system, a new decluttering. Okay. Maybe even starting therapy or coaching because it's a new mental health. Okay. Learning a practical skill, changing daily habits, becoming more disciplined. Okay. Now, this new moon could be affecting globally, because I was more individual, but globally, this new moon could be dealing with a lot of employees, a lot of workers, your employment, healthcare system, the nurses, anyone who's giving a service to you, okay? Public health, labor, agriculture, food systems, data, secretaries, the librarians, statistics, that spreadsheet kind of energy, administrative, any type of new policy, procedures, organizational changes that become more important. That is going to happen during this new moon. Don't say I didn't warn you. The new moon itself, I didn't see have any aspects. It's sextile Mars, actually. So that's great. Anything you want to have drive and action to and be great, courageous at, that works really well during this new moon. So actually, that's very positive. So use that new moon to motivate you. Okay. Now we're still not finished with September 10th. We're still on September 10th. September 10th also is the day that Uranus starts to retrograde. So you see on the 9th, it's not red here. And then as soon as it's the 10th, it starts to be red. Now, Uranus is a planet of disruption, innovation, technology, rebellion, power to the people. Okay. Sudden changes, freedom, electricity, and breakthroughs. It's also dealing with the sky and how we communicate in the sky, the airplanes. And now it's not working. Okay. Whenever a planet is retrograde, I like to say it's not working. Um, it's not working the way that we like it to work. So, sure, that sounds great. Like we won't have disruptions, but then disruption means there's nothing new. Nothing new is happening. Everyone's into the old school. On a positive energy, it's revisiting the newness. It's revisiting the what was once disrupted before. Gemini is energy of communication and news and information and transportation and vehicles and media and internet and education, a lot of documents and just anything dealing with the power of the word. So there's a lot of developments that could be happening when it comes to and correcting and redesigning when it comes to anything dealing with Gemini, which is communication and the power of the word and social media and maybe even vehicles. Okay, so get ready for that. Uranus retrogrades all the time, so it's not a big doozy, but just know that this is an energy in the sky, okay? And then what else we have? On the 12th, which is Saturday, we have Mercury, which is giving very positive aspects to Pluto, which I talked about, that it works really good with conversations, it works really good with investigations, okay? Even though it has this kite, but hidden information can come to the surface. Investigation journalism, someone admits something, research is revealed, powerful negotiations, information becomes leverage, conversations about control and power, government information could be leaking out, technology, regulations, intelligence, data. Just know all that stuff could be coming out and working really good. But remember that Mercury is officially that day on September 12th. It's got some oppositions to Neptune, and Neptune is a planet of confusion. It's a planet of illusion. It's a planet of idealism. It's a planet that is about the endings of self sacrifice. It's the planet that deals with people doing self harm, okay? A lot of misinformation as well, and also drugs and addictions. So a lot of confusion with messages and misunderstandings and rumors and misleading headlines, the fake news, the scams, someone avoiding answering directly, a lot of fluff. Okay. Cloudy judgment, a rose colored lens kind of energy. Maybe it won't be working because it's retrograding. So we'll see how that goes, but always trust your intuition. Maybe the intuition won't be working. Or maybe there is something intuitive that you feel and you can't quite communicate it. Okay. That could be happening as well. So just know that Mercury is also got some major aspects that are very positive with Uranus. So it's lost in the sauce with Neptune. But with Uranus, it's like it's surprise announcements. Now, will it be a surprise? Maybe not. Maybe it won't be new. But usually, when Uranus is involved with Mercury, things are very fast. Things are very unexpected. Maybe there is like a breaking news or something with technology and AI or something that's a new development could be happening. So that is what we have for the second week of September. Mercury, it's got some big things. And remember, Mercury is not just dealing with discussions, Mercury is also dealing with traveling. Mercury is also dealing with the way we process information and how we learn. Okay. Now, if you really love this and you're like, I want more, remember, I'm going to put all this on my Substack. I have a weekly bulletin. Newsletter, not bulletin. And I also put some extra tips on there. And I add that on every week. You get it every Monday. Okay. But know that there's some issues with finances and commerce and negotiations and contracts. A lot of investigation going on this week, okay? Verify before reacting. Don't confuse intensity with intimacy. Leave rooms for plans to change. Leave room, not leave rooms. Leave room for your plans to change. Sorry. Pay attention who is entering your life as well. Okay. Yeah. And also too, Mercury deals with the everyday systems. So just be able to have some wiggle room for that to change. We're going to pull some cards for this week. Let's see what we have. We have the Nine of Pentacles. I like this. This is very much self-made energy. This is someone who's really like proud of their own work. There's abundance, there's luxury, self-sufficiency, self-worth. success, achievement, very earth energy, very Virgo energy. This is energy who likes to plan out things. So the planning of things works really well. Very positive for us who are on this podcast, okay? Because we also have the 10 of cups, and it's also happiness when it comes to your family life, your home life, your divine love, blissful relationships, harmony, alignment, family, love and support, fulfillment, emotional stability, and domestic joy. I think this is great. I think this is going to start the conversation of how we are in our relationships regarding the coin, regarding our finances, regarding that self made. Maybe that Neptune in Aries is a dissolvement of being selfish and more compassionate. Let's see how that plays out for the second week of September. And I'm going to drink some water again. Hold up, and then we'll get into the third week. Also, I got some new glasses. What do we think? I don't know if you guys know, but I cannot see. I need like a lot of help with seeing. I thought of getting surgery, and then I said, no, I'll just buy a bunch of prescription glasses. We'll do that instead. Let's see how this keep playing out. You know, the older you get, the more you're like, oh, surgery sounds so intense. But, you know, I hear the technology is getting better. All right. So let's talk about the next week. We have week 3 of September, and it's going to be September 14th to the 20th. Now, we had our last week, and now this third week the story is changing. Okay, now we deal with what is going to be revealed. A lot of investigation last week. Okay, now we are really taking action. Okay, we're confronting what's under the surface. We revisit some old wound problems. We make the difficult decisions. We start off with September 5th. The sun is in a Virgo, and it's making this amazing you know, the opportunities out there with Mars. It's sextile Mars, meaning that if you want to do something, then do it. Okay. The sun is our vitality, it's our energy, it's our leadership, it's our purpose, it's our authority, it's our confidence. And now we have the drive, we have the action, we have the courage, we have the motivation. Use it. God has put that energy out there. September 14th, write it down. Fearless energy. September 14th, especially when it comes to not being scared to go to the dentist, because you got that Virgo with health, okay? And this the fearness with that Mars and Cancer. If you're trying to confront someone or have some solutions when it comes to your home life or your mom or your family or protections or security, this is a great day to do it. Okay. Now, on the 15th, the next day, we have Mars is going to, not Mars, I'm sorry, Venus in Scorpio is going to square Pluto. And once Venus enters Scorpio, you can say it's going to square Pluto. But this is the official day on the 15th, okay? Venus squaring Pluto. Venus, again, relationships, love, money, attraction, what you value. Pluto is all about power, jealousy, control, obsession, secrets, manipulation, psychology, okay? I'm looking at my stuff. Transformation, wealth, and resources. So just know around this time, once Venus enters Scorpio, a lot of powerful attractions, and they're kind of control you. The relationship gets a little bit too intense. There could be obsession, jealousy, possessiveness, controlling issues, secrets start to emerge in a relationship, trust issues. This is when that investigation starts to come to real life. Someone realizing a relationship has become unhealthy, an ex or someone, a fear of losing someone, manipulation. The ex makes things complicated. Someone realizing a relationship is too clingy. I don't know, not clingy, but yeah, too intense. Okay. Just know Venus and Scorpio also deals with finances too. So a lot of money with banking and debts, not banking, but loans and taxes and money that you owe people or hidden expenses. That could be a big issue. Venus also is a planet about partying and socializing. And remember, it's in a pre-shadow phase of retrograding. So the partying, the female relationships, it gets a little too tense, or the female gets jealous, or something taboo or some secret comes out, like a sexual scandal or something like that. Don't say I didn't warn you. You've been warned. Also, too, That same day, Neptune is God's putting this opportunity out here. If you want to use it, let's use it. It is going to, and it's been doing this for a good minute. It's sextile Pluto, so that means things that are secreted or are ending, or compassion really works. So like any type of fighting your beliefs or spiritual identity or the hero victim narrative works really good with technology and AI and surveillance, technology and ideology, the future and your belief, being independent in your belief and really having a social community with that, or some digital power with that, works really good. It's been working for a good minute, but just know this is the official day of it. And then on the 17th of September, we have Chiron, is walking backwards. Okay. Chiron officially enters Aries. So you went from healing the finances to healing yourself and your identity, your independence, the confidence, the courage, the anger, the leadership, the self assertion, the right to exist as yourself and being your true self, and the impulsiveness, all that's getting healing. So that starts to change. Also, too, Chiron is the planet of the victim. Okay. So a lot of victims of being selfish and stuff like that, that starts to happen when you get that. And then on the 18th as well, Mercury officially is in opposition to Saturn. So this is when you're trying to say something and you're only met with opposition, not opposition, with pessimism. Okay, with some restrictions, some authority, some responsibility, a reality check, or a delay, or consequences, or maybe what you're saying is not reality. Okay, or maybe the information you're given, there is restrictions. Okay, decisions are being delayed, transportation is being delayed, or maybe you're driving and you get a consequence while being driving, or while you're driving. When you have negotiations, there is an authority figure that's being negative. Okay, so just know this is the energy of a difficult conversation, and that happens in the middle of September. Globally, this is the media and the government, some stuff being in the news about the government. May not be the best, may not be eye to eye, seeing eye to eye, because there's an opposition there as well. So November, I mean, not November. That's so random that I said November. But in the third week of September, okay, where am I? In the third week of September, a lot of confusion with information, a lot of revelations, a lot of changing of stories. Consequences are a big thing here, okay? The sun is giving you energy at the beginning of the week. Venus and Pluto could create a lot of jealousy and conflict with money and friendships. Chiron is going to be healing about the self and the physical body as well. But remember, Mercury is being very negative. Okay. Let's pull some cards for the third week of September. I actually pulled a few cards. I don't know what made me do that, but here we are. We got the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is the beginning of that conversation. It's the young energy of the conversation. Also, young air signs too, but it's communication, is being curious. Um, Yeah, so the beginning of curiosity, but also too there could be a message coming to you the third week of September. And then we have the King of Wands. Oh, I like this. Strong leadership here, especially with that sun doing some stuff and Chiron returning to Aries. But a natural born leader, vision, boldness, daring, a lot of charm, the entrepreneur. This is the week of entrepreneurship. I'm gonna put that energy out there. A lot of power, big picture optimism, a lot of bravery, a lot of this is the energy too of someone who's really motivating, and there's self-motivation here as well. And then we have the star card in reverse. Whenever the star card is in reverse, I feel like it's giving lack of faith. And it also is losing hope and not thinking about the collective and not fighting for the people. So maybe it's a great time to maybe focus on the self and not focus on the collective. That could be a big thing there. But also too, there is this energy of like not bearing it all and not being honest. And also, we have the King of Swords. Speaking of honesty, in reverse, this is someone who lies. This is someone who doesn't tell the truth. This is all going to happen the third week. This is also someone who's very cold and ruthless and abuse of power, especially with words, abuse of words, irrational, a dictator. Ooh, let's see what happens around the world. And then we have the Two of Swords. This is someone who's indecisive. So we have indecision. Okay, difficulty. You got one foot in, one foot out. Okay, you're thinking about yourself. You got some lies happening, but far as the fire energy, there's a lot of drive. There's a lot of motivation coming up, and there is a message come your way as well. So that is what we have for the third week of September. There's power versus control, love with possession, attraction with obsession, security with control, loyalty with ownership, money with power. Get ready for the jealousy that week, okay? All right, let's move on to week 4. Again, I need some water. This is the last week of September. And then 2, I will pull a whole thing of September card too. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to do a whole September pulling cards at the very end of all this. Okay. So if you're here just for September, we can do some predictions just for September with the tarot too. Okay. So let me pull up. So let's talk about the last week of September, and that's going to be September 21st to the 30th. I want to remind you that I put this on my Substack, so this will be on my Substack. Not only will this video be on a Substack, but I also do a newsletter completely free for the weekly forecast. Okay, so that is what we have. I also like to throw in some bonus tips on there. Anyway, so for this week, and we're going to go from the 21st to the 30th. This week closes off the month with a lot of energy, okay? The sun is going to be huge this week, and the sun represents leadership, your ego. The sun also represents the children. But whenever the sun's involved, it highlights a lot of things, okay? We have the Aries full moon. We have the sun opposing Neptune. We have the sun trining Pluto because it's entering Libra, and the sun trining Uranus. And then Mars is entering Leo. And who is the ruler of Mars? Who's the ruler of Leo? The sun. So the sun is a big one. We also have Mercury entering Scorpio. Okay. So this month, at the end of September, big conversations, relationship things, a lot of revelations. I'm saying it wrong. Revealing things, endings, revealing some endings, having awareness of endings, some unexpected changes. Okay. So let's get started with what's on the chart. Mercury is going to sextile Jupiter. Now, meaning, wait, is this the right day? The 21st, sorry. Meaning that sextile means that opportunity is out here. Are you going to use the opportunity? Okay. Are you going to use the opportunity to communicate, to blast whatever news? This is a great day to put something on the internet and make an announcement. Everyone, listen to me. That's what this does. Okay. Because Jupiter expands. And what is it expanding? Whatever it touches, it expands. Whatever it touches, it will expand it, especially in Leo. And if Jupiter is in Leo and then expanding, everyone look at me, and you're making an announcement, it's a great time for announcement, okay? Any type of news, information, contract, decisions, negotiations, learning, transportation, Jupiter is going to be there to expand it, give it opportunity, give it growth, give it confidence. Traveling is also with this. Small travel with big travel. Also dealing with law too is what Jupiter is. Okay, so use that opportunity. Do not say I did not give it to you. Now on September 22nd, again, happy solar return. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all of my Libras out there. Why do we love Libra energy? Because Libra is all about the other. It's not about the I. So that's great. Also, too, it sets a new season. We are in the fall equinox. We are here to start a new energy. New, it's like a mini new year, mini new year. Okay, so use the energy to even manifest some stuff. Like, what do I want for fall? What do I want to start for this next 3 months coming up? Okay, but the focus shifts from fixing the problems. Well, no, I don't know. That's old. Okay. Oh, Virgo energy is all about work, organizations, routine, improvement, and details, fixing those problems. Libra energy is all about let's focus on relationships. Let's make things beautiful. Let's focus on our agreements and fairness and balance and being diplomatic. Libra season themes are all about the relationships, dating, marriage, business partners, contracts, government, well, really the law, fairness and justice, not really the law, but fairness and justice, and being diplomatic. Okay, so major themes about relationships. Be careful of the people pleasing, be careful of the indecision, be careful of avoiding confrontation, trying to stay neutral instead of making that decision. That's really annoying. No one likes that, but the collective may be doing it. Okay, sacrificing your needs to maintain harmony. Now this is where it really gets bad, because once the sun enters Libra, then the sun will be opposing Neptune. So this is someone who's really sacrificing, okay? The sun is your identity, and you're sacrificing your identity. You're uncertain. There's low clarity. You're questioning yourself. You're idealizing someone, putting them on a pedestal, and they're not even up there. It's a false idol. Feeling emotional, energetically drained, confusion about another person's intentions, wanting to escape responsibility. The creativity, it has deplenished, it's lost, it's confused. The intuition could be a little lost as well, but a lot of spiritual reflection. Okay, so be aware that relationships are going to be really confusing. Drop my water. There could be some unclear leadership, especially with the sun here and Neptune in Aries. Okay. Again, government issues there, propaganda, misinformation, any communication. Any communication. Confusion around communication. Yeah, so same old thing that I've explained with Neptune. I don't know if I explained it or if I'm just thinking I explained it, but Neptune is the planet of lost in a sauce. Now it's opposing the planet that's in the sign of relationships, or it's opposing the planet that's in the sign of fairness and justice. Okay. Also, too, Libra likes to give up their rights for the others, for the partnerships. Neptune loves the sacrifice. Okay. So be aware of that. Also, being like loss of your identity and the identity of others, that could possibly be happening too. So, and it can't see eye to eye. There's an imbalance there. Now, not only that, though, this is a kite. Any planet that comes into Libra because of these early sign planets is making it kite. So the sun is now enter Libra, and now it's making this great aspect with Pluto and a great aspect with Uranus, but it's still lost in the sauce. So when it's making a great aspect with Pluto, that means that the power dynamic, the investigation, the hidden motives, all that is very clear. Anything dealing with AI, our technology, our organizations, all of a sudden something is very clear in regards to the relationship or the partnership. Now, when it's having this great aspect with Uranus, the intellect is involved, the shock is involved, but it's a good surprise. But then something is lost and confused. So be aware of that. Now, we also have a full moon, which is September 26th. The full moon, you guys, this full moon is so annoying. Okay, let me show you this full moon. What day is the 26th? The full moon at 4 degrees. Okay, I went too far. So wait, let's just, okay, wait. Is it moving too slow? I'm trying to move it back. Here we go. No, 3 degrees. Is it 4 degrees or 3 degrees? 3 degrees. Is that 3 degrees? Okay, so if you see where the new moon is, if you can't see it, I'm going to tell you. This new moon is sitting next to Neptune. Neptune is getting on my nerves, okay? Not only do we have the sun lost, the ego lost, the partnership lost, now the moon wants to get involved. Okay, Aries is all about independence, identity, courage, action, competition, leadership, anger, conflict, self interest, new beginnings, and survival. Okay. Anytime you have planets in Aries, and we're talking about this full moon in Aries. This full moon is in Aries. The sun is in Libra. This is not really good for all of my early signs in Capricorn and in Cancer. Sorry, you guys. You're going to feel this full moon even more, okay? Early signs in Libra, you're going to be feeling this full moon. Early signs in Aries, you've been feeling that Neptune, but now the emotions are involved, okay? So this is a lot of me versus we. Relationships have a turning point. This is where it hits the fan. All that investigation, all this discussion about relationships earlier in the month, now, the sun's involved. This is when the emotions, this is when the climax here. Someone decides they're finished on compromising. Independence become necessary. Partnerships reaches its culmination. A personal goal reaches an important stage. Someone becomes more confident. Someone realizes that they've been abandoned themselves to keep another person happy. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. I've been sacrificing all this time. I realized that when the sun entered Libra, but god damn it, now the moon is telling me what I'm feeling. It's true. Okay. A lot of emotional experience, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to be impatient. It's going to be reactive because I said Aries energy. It's going to be restless, a little angry. Maybe not a little. Yes, angry. Okay. This is when the person is like, I had enough of your BS and now I'm motivated to leave. Okay. A lot of independence, a lot of ready to change. Now, also too globally, because I was more a personal level, right? But globally, you are dealing with Aries. You're talking about military, you're talking about conflict, you're talking about war. I'll discuss that in another video, but just know that that could represent that public anger. You're talking about emergency situations. Aries deals with the color red. What is red that comes out the body? It also deals with sharp objects. So we could be seeing that during this new moon, especially with Neptune here, and it's secret and deceptive, and again, sacrificing an ending. Neptune also represents death of some sort, so there is that. Okay, so we have that now. It also, let me see what else I have here. It also deals with extreme heightened emotions, very sensitive, very sensitive and angry. Okay, fantasy about someone dissolving, finally seeing where you've ignored your own needs, strong intuition here, emotional intuition that leads to anger or leads to independence. Your intuition is telling you something, it hits its climax. Okay, Neptune likes to dissolve things too. That's happening. And there is this wide conjunction with Saturn, just so you know. Saturn is sitting about 8 degrees away from this full moon. So there could be something that's dealing with a reality check, or setting some boundaries, or being responsible, or having some maturity. That could be happening, or being very negative about this whole situation. Okay. That could be happening as well. This full moon works really well with Uranus, and works really well it's sextile Pluto and sextile Uranus. Both of these deal with communication, breakthroughs, some freedom, even dealing with protesting of some sort. So power to the people, but just the news and communication. So that's ever flowing. At the same time, there's this anger and emotions here happening at the same time. Okay, so we have that. Get ready for this full moon. The full moon, the illusions breaks, the direction change. You're talking about relationships with the sun in Libra. You're talking about Neptune idolizing this. You're talking about Saturn making things an actual fact, making it real. And Aries moon is like, what do I need? Me. Forget all y'all. What do I need? And Uranus is like, well, let's do something different. And Pluto is like, okay, well, you know what? Let's get the power, because I'm obsessed with power, and let's get to doing some research on how we can change this. Okay. So get ready for that. I'll look up who this is going to affect everywhere else. Like, is this going to affect Trump? Is this going to affect Israel? Is it going to affect? I'll look that up, and I'll do that in a separate video. But just get ready for this full moon in Aries. It is September 26th. On the 27th, we have Mars is finishing stuff up when it comes to home and protection, and then it will enter Leo. When Mars is in Leo, okay, it immediately has an opposition to Pluto. So that is the the self-expression versus the people. Just so you know that. So it's already entering the building with some negativity. Just so you know that. Also, when Mars is in Leo, it works really good with my fire signs. Sagittarius, y'all been doing great, okay? All my Aries, this is a win for you when Mars is in Leo. It doesn't work really good with my Aquarius. It doesn't work good with the Scorpio placements. Doesn't work good with the Taurus placements. Just so you know, Mars in Leo gives people the drive to have courage, confidence, creativity. This is when the sports get really intense. Leadership, performances, pride, recognition, romance, sexuality, entertainment, all that. It works really good with Mars and Leo. On a personal level, it will make you more motivated. It will make you more competitive. People will want to see you. People will be around of you. You're loving celebrities, or the celebrities are loving you. People take bigger risk, increase desire in your performance or to create. Strong need to receive appreciation. Okay. On the negative side, Mars and Leo is going to make a lot of ego battles, a lot of pride, a lot of drama, conflict. I hate conflicts, and Mars and Leo loves a conflict. Okay, it is not. It's like, oh, is there a conflict? Wait a minute, move out the way. I love a conflict. Here we go. Why am I doing all this? If you guys didn't know, I'm doing the neck roll, okay? Because Mars and Leo is here for all of it, okay? Conflict becomes something for everyone, okay? Now look out for something in the entertainment industry. Again, celebrities, sports, athletes, political leaders, royal families, children, youth, leadership conflicts, public performances, again, competition. Now, the ruler of Mars and Leo is the sun. So whatever the sun is doing is going to affect that aggression. But this is like leaders fighting. Now, the sun, remember, it's in Leo. It's doing some blessings with Uranus. So a lot of surprises and unexpected things is working really good. And then Mercury on the 29th is, oh, it has a blessing with the North Node in Aquarius, meaning whatever you say for your future, your divine purpose. Maybe there is a conversation for your divine purpose. Important conversations about the future. Agreement reaches a decision. Contract negotiations reach an important stage because it's at 29 degrees. So there's a urgency to close things out. But now there is a conversation, the written word, or you're traveling to it, like you're in the car, you're doing your day to day routines, and something's meant to be. Something just lands on your lap, and this is like meant for your destiny. Get ready for that for the last week of September. I call that a blessing. And then right after you get that blessing, then Mercury has the audacity to enter Scorpio. When Mercury enters Scorpio, this is when the investigation starts to happen, okay? Secrets, getting therapy, research, intimacy, trust, strategy, money, power, taboo subjects. You're talking about the prostitutes, the tarot readers, all that hidden information. The skeletons come out of the closet, okay? Not only in that, it's going to be dealing with relationships because Mercury is going to conjunct Venus. So, a lot of investigations when it comes to relationships. Mercury in Scorpio also makes you very paranoid. And if it's sitting next to the planet of resources, of friendships and relationships and finances, you're paranoid about your money. You are walking around saying, Big Bear, have my money. That kind of thing. You're obsessive over your partnerships. You're manipulating over your money or your power shifts or that friendship dynamic. You're interrogating your friends. You're assuming someone is hiding something. You're weaponizing some private information. Ooh, and I hate that. My moon in Scorpio hates when y'all tell a secret. And it's not y'all, not you, but when that Mercury hits that Venus, why are you telling the secrets? Okay. Especially things that are very secretive. I'm all here for, like, she said your hair is ugly. Those things don't, who cares? But you're talking about real no. Okay. Anyway, but this is going to be some intense investigations, some leaks, something dealing with finances. A secret could be coming out about an ally, whether you're dealing with a country ally or not. Something could be something dealing with some finances, the economy, investigative journalism. You get all that on that last week of September. So get ready for that. Also, too, something dealing with the banks that could be investigated as well. Okay. Mercury also, once it hits Scorpio, is going to square Mars. So this is like an investigation with a partner ally who's also a leader. Okay. Okay, get ready for the conflicts. Arguments about loyalty, jealousy, someone confronting your partnership, arguments over attention. I'm rolling my eyes because that's going to sexual tension, competitive romantic situations, okay, secrets provoking anger, someone feeling disrespected, arguments about who is really in control. And remember, relationships is sitting next to these arguments. Are your harmony? Are your balance? Are what's fair and what's justice? Someone saying something deliberately to aggravate you or to provoke. We'll say provoke. Okay. Also, too, I see love triangles. Love triangles. So are again the money and conflict about money. So look, just at the end of September, you guys, just please just stay in your house. Don't go out. Get ready for the fire. Get ready for the fire, okay? And get ready for the fire because you're talking about the Aries full moon. You're talking about Mercury squaring Mars and then Mercury sitting next to Venus. Do not say, I did not warn you about the end of September. The last week of September is going to be a doozy. Let's pull some cards on it, okay? Pull some cards on the last week of September. Here we go. We got the Fool. Who is the Fool? The Fool card also represents a new journey. Pack light. Don't bring your emotional baggage. We have the Eight of Pentacles. It's in reverse. People are not focusing on the details. Okay, something new has started and there is a lack of focus on the details. You also get that. And then we have the Temperance. I want you to understand the last week of September, I want everyone to practice alchemy. Put some balance. There's something imbalanced and there needs to be a balance. Okay, we need to focus on healing. We need to have some patience, some self control. There needs to be serenity. You need to have things in moderation because Venus and Mercury sitting next together means that someone is shopping too much and there's a conflict here that could also be happening too. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna read some comments. Hello, Sandra. Danyell, great to catch you in a live. Yes, great to see you. And she also said, stay awesome. I am awesome. Thank you. Sounds so cocky. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to pull some cards for the month of September. Okay, everyone who is watching this and stayed, this is just for you, and I'm going to say we, what we are going to experience personally for the month of September. We have the Knight of Pentacles. There's going to be a strong energy on focusing on your health, on focusing on your finances, and really moving slow, taking your time and being patient. Not just with your finances, but being patient as a whole in the month of September. Okay. I'll read what the card says. It says being practical, being reliable, being stoic, slow and steady, hardworking, committed, grounded, patient, efficient, pragmatic. Love that. Very grounded energy. Also, oh, look at this. We have the Death card in reverse. Death card in the reverse is resistance to change. Something could be decaying and you're not letting it. It's like you're stagnant. That is very much this card too. Just so you know, something's supposed to change and it's not changing. We need some more details on that, okay? Because the death card likes to replenish. It basically takes the decay and then it puts it in the earth and then it grows the seed. But now it's just decaying. So let's see what else we have in here. The energy of moving fast. Okay, so let me add another card to this fast here. Okay, there's going to be a message because we have, I should tell you what we have. We have the Knight of Swords, which is very fast energy, and we have the Page of Pentacles. When there is going to be a message that you need to move faster, then you need to move faster, because the whole month of September, we're going to be moving slow. We're going to practice patience. But that doesn't work because energy is ever flowing, right? So, sure, we want to stay steady and be patient. But overall, that's the energy, but we need to add some speed. Okay. So, there's going to be some times where you get a message. That message is going to come to you, and it's not going to be an intuitive message, because this is the page of Pentacles. It's going to be something that's very realistic. It's going to be a tangible message. It's almost like someone says, you need to act now in a text message. You see it, it's not made up. You need to act now. The patience goes out the door when the energy is very tangible and you need to move fast. Okay. Then that would get rid of that decay. For example, it's like literal decay. It's almost like if someone says, you have a cavity, and you're like, I'm going to move steady. I'm going to move slow. I'm going to just, maybe I'll go to another dentist and check it out. No, make the appointment. Let's do the cavity today. This is hardcore evidence. I see the x-ray. It says I need a cavity. We're not going to sit on this. We're going to actually do it today. Okay. Now let me pull what else we have for September. We have the moon in reverse. I kind of like this because things are being highlighted. We're not living in fear. We're releasing the fear. Secrets will be revealed. The truth will be exposed. Things in your dreams, pay attention to them, write them down. There's symbolism. There's clarity and understanding. Okay, that is what we have. I like that. We'll close it off with that, with the moon in reverse. I mean, the moon deals with emotions, but maybe that emotions is not going to affect us. But maybe that the moon, the new moon in Virgo, the full moon in Aries will be providing some clarity, and we won't be living in fear anymore. Okay, so that is what we have. I hope you guys enjoyed. I still have some videos I have to do. Look forward to. I'm going to do, if you have your Venus in Libra, I have the notes on that. I just have to make the video. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to be doing, if you really want to know how to read your own chart, I need to do the video on the sun and what that represents, and where the sun is placed in your natal chart, how that affects your natal chart. So those two videos I have planned in my head to do. So I'm going to do that. I also believe in a lot of conspiracy theories. Okay. I have old, information behind a paywall that I'm releasing, and it deals with conspiracy theories, and that's on my Substack, and it's completely free. Even if you don't have Substack, click the link, you'll get it. You don't have to have the app, and you'll get the conspiracy theory stuff that I'm already doing, that I've already done, and they're old material, but I'm releasing it because I like to give stuff. I like free stuff, so I like to give out free stuff. So far I have on there on my Substack, I think Kanye West's chart, me diving deep into NASA's natal chart. What's that girl's name? Erica Kirk's chart. That's what I can think of at the top of my head, but there's other stuff. I did freedom of speech and how that's being taken away and what that looks like. So a lot of videos on there. There's more. I just can't think of them, but they're completely free on my Substack. All right. If you really love astrology, you'll love that. I also have stuff on how to read your natal chart for free. All right. So that is what we have. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.